about how we fuel our mind, body, spirit creates the lifestyle we live. And each and every week we bring you new people, places, ideas, and organizations that live consciously and mindfully. It's a talk show with motivation, intelligent talk, and a little bit of humor. So we're right on the heels of Thanksgiving, and there's a lot to be thankful for. So one little tip of the day: this holiday season, when it gets real crazy out there, how about a random act of kindness? Maybe let somebody out of a busy parking lot. Maybe let somebody go ahead of you in the line. And remember to tune in here for a little inspiration. Today, we're going to be talking about increasing the quality of life through some very creative modalities. And I have a very special friend and wellness expert, Denise Taylor. Denise, thanks for joining me today.
Hi, Denise. I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
And you should know a little secret about us here at the HAN Network. Everyone busts my chops about getting people's names correct. I don't think we're going to have that issue today.
I think this is an easy one.
This can be pretty simple. So what inspired me to have you on is the fact that you have this triad of services that you're trained in. And I want to kind of jump right in because the newsletter I sent out talked about neurological delays and how the services of these three things together specifically can really offer raising the quality of life for both our senior citizens and our youth that may have developmental delays. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, primarily I'm working with people who are seniors at the moment and have special needs, individuals with special needs. And often these people have difficulty with maybe forming thoughts, maybe communicating thoughts, maybe moving their bodies, maybe socializing. Self-esteem can often be low. A lot of times we're unable to talk about these things and tell the world how we're feeling, what we're thinking.
Right.
Well, I've been trained as a creative arts therapist as well as a massage therapist and a fitness specialist. And
so that packs a wallop.
I just have a lot of tools in my toolbox that help people who may not, where words may not be their strong point, to access their creativity and express themselves in other ways and find alternative means of expression.
And that was one of the things I really focused in on when I was learning more about you, was that you work with the nonverbal and the verbal. And we know through research that the creative modalities that you are especially trained on can really help people. People that have learning disabilities, autism, even Alzheimer's. So tell me, let's go back to the beginning. Where did you get your interest in this? What made you start?
Yeah, I've always had an interest in people of varying backgrounds. I grew up in a family where there was a lot of exposure to people of different cultures and foreign exchange students, and I like to explore as a child myself, and I developed a compassion. We've had a lot of pets, and I realized that having compassion and caring for other people is just where it's at.
Moving the ball forward.
Yes. And I developed an interest in how to help others and how to find tools to help others, and I used a lot of them to help myself. To become a better person, I'm constantly trying to improve myself. So I want to be able to share some of these tools with other people who are also struggling on a lot of different levels.
So tell me, well, we're going to go into a little bit of each of them. Tell me a little bit about, you know that my husband and I own an art business, so of course I love anything art therapy related because I know the power of that. So tell me about creative arts expression and how you work with clients. Let's start with the senior citizens first.
One thing, for example, with seniors, and often seniors have complications with memory and forming thoughts and socializing. I find that the variety of arts, music, movement, music is phenomenal because you find music that taps into their era and their emotional connections with that music will often kind of bypass any cognitive delays they may be experiencing, and you'll find them singing and often singing the lyrics of a song completely, whereas they may not be able to form a sentence otherwise.
So it kind of brings back a little retention almost, right? Or
Yes, yes.
It stimulates a different part of the
It
brain.
stimulates a different part of the brain.
Isn't
and
that
there's
interesting?
so much research out there on the effectiveness of stimulating the different parts of the brain that may not be affected by the disease, progressive disease.
And how would you use that with children? Because I know you work in schools as well.
Yes. Well, you know, as children, we naturally play. And I liken the creative arts to what we did as kids, which was very much accepted. We used our imaginations. We rehearsed for life. We imitated adults. We played with trucks, gender rehearsal, you know, boy-girl stuff. I mean, so the arts really help us in that way as adults and older kids to access that sense of play.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any success stories that you can share that come to mind with the music? I know you sent one out in your bio, but I thought you might have another as well.
Well, I have a very dear friend who has dementia, and I put some music that she loved, you know, Frank Sinatra, some 50s music, 40s, 30s, that she could relate to and had emotional connections with. And she just became so animated and was dancing. This is an 86-year-old woman, and remembering word for word the lyrics to the song. Whereas in general, her thoughts are very disconnected and distorted. So she became like a 20-year-old.
And do you see, after they've gone through a program of expressive arts with you, do you see that it lasts a period of time thereafter, or is it something that you have to keep doing in order to keep reaping the benefits? Is it like mentally exercising the brain?
It is mentally exercising the brain. And I think the more we do things, the more we establish neuroplasticity, neurological connections are made, and more permanent results can then happen.
And what I liked about that was you often provided massage therapy with the creative arts therapy. So it was almost like they got relaxed, and maybe that opened them up more to receiving the benefits of the next therapy?
Well, the massage I use as a tool. So depending on the person, I may or may not. For example, I worked with a group of developmentally disabled people at the Kennedy Center a year ago, and was excited by so much of what happened there. They're very responsive to the creative arts therapy program that they've implemented at the Kennedy Center. And massage is something we would do during relaxation. And a lot of these, and healthy therapeutic touch was something new for a lot of people.
What's healthy therapeutic touch?
Just, we all need touch, and healthy touch is within a safe environment, a trusting environment, showing, nurturing.
Is that like a hug?
Okay, so it could be hand massage.
It could be hand
Could be
massage.
a little shoulder massage. These are people who may not be able to move their bodies, who may be very stiff, who
Okay.
may be in wheelchairs, who may never be touched, who may never be hugged.
Okay.
So, you know, it has to be done in a very respectful way.
And very
but-
customized to the person.
Yes, and I used to do it as part of a relaxation group that we would do. We would start our day by relaxing, and maybe it was a way of the staff maybe bonding with the consumers by giving hand massages, and that was a nice connection, that healthy connection that they could make together.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
great. Did you also implement the arts therapy program there?
Yes, I ran, among other expressive arts therapists at the Kennedy Center, I was responsible for creating the programming for two programs of individuals.
So give me a sense of what those programs look like. Like, what was the daily ritual? Because what we try to do here on the Drive is, for the people that are listening that maybe don't have access to your resources, or maybe are just thinking about it, I like to leave them with something that says, oh yeah, I want to try that, or that might work for my grandmother, or that might work for my daughter that's struggling in math. Maybe these creative therapies will open up new avenues to her. So I try to leave everyone in our audience with a little, if we move anyone listening to us forward a bit, then we've done our job. So give me like a look, because I also know as a business owner and an artist that people can be afraid of like arts therapy.
Right.
They don't understand it. Like, oh, that's for someone else. I'm not creative, or my child isn't creative, or I don't see the value in that. So I want them to I want them to understand the value in that, because
Right.
it is a very important piece of our cognitive
Right.
development.
Right.
And I often say, past 5th grade, they take arts out of the schools. So people lose that connection.
It's true.
So tell me what your programs look like to help. Yeah, I mean, you could just give us, a snippet.
What I try to do is I try to empower. I will go into an assisted living facility, or I will go into someone's home and maybe do a one-on-one with their child who has certain special needs. And what I try to do is meet the person where they're at, try to understand where they're coming from, and try to introduce them to different things to try to understand what they enjoy, what their interests are. And then I try to help them expand on that. So if I were doing a one-on-one with a special needs individual in their home, maybe they have issues with socialization, maybe they have issues with communication, maybe they don't feel good about what they produce. Well, the nice thing about the creative arts is it's not about the product. It's not
Right.
about what does it look like. There's no judgment.
Right, doesn't
It's
matter.
about the journey, the means to the end. How'd you get there? What was your experience? Did you feel good about yourself?
Right.
Wow, you did that? That may have been for the first time that the person did that.
So is it painting? Is it drawing? Is it poem writing? Is it?
It can be any of the above.
Okay.
Music, movement, role-playing, storytelling,
Storytelling.
poetry. You want to bring out the abilities in people, and everyone has different abilities and different interests, and you want to try to find, as a creative arts therapist, you want to try to find what makes that person tick.
So when you're teaching a group lesson, how does that differ than a one-to-one lesson? When you're teaching sort of a group program at somewhere like the Kennedy Center or a school?
I try to, I always go in with a plan,
Yeah.
and that can change because you need to go
Similar to the show here. You go with a plan, and then it kind of changes.
That's right. And you need to be able to go with the flow, because you cannot give it so much structure that there's no room to grow within that structure. So, so I come in with an idea of what we might do, whether it would be with art or maybe a music activity, and I introduce it to the group, and then then I work with every individual so that we can to see what abilities they have and how they're able to go about.
So you must
Doing
have
that
a very
activity.
good sensing mechanism when you're working with groups if you need to change your plan or harmonize the plan so it fits certain individual needs that may or may not be responding. Is that correct?
Right.
Right.
And I always offer alternatives,
So you always have different suggestions.
because someone may not be interested in what we're doing, but they may be interested in something else.
So part of the book that I've written, The Daily Drive, talks about doodling because, back in the day when we grew up, doodling was considered for, the flaky or maybe not
Right.
the so smart. And now we're understanding that doodling really synthesizes information. You're not necessarily the kid that's just zooming off somewhere else, not paying attention.
Right.
You could really be taking in that information. And I'm wondering, in the people that you help with neurological delays, do you see that to be true? When they're sort of concentrating on something that's artistic you've given them, where one might assume that they've drifted off and not paying attention, where it really is working?
Yes, we don't know what's going on in someone's mind,
No.
but to the extent that they're engaged and they're focusing.
I would imagine, too, when you see the results of maybe like just even that happy face,
Right.
yeah, then you kind of
Right.
know that it worked.
Yeah, I did a group recently with some elderly folks in an assisted living program locally, and the woman wasn't interested in doing what we did. She had a lot of disorganized thoughts, but we had Frank Sinatra going in the background, and so she was about ready to get up and leave, and I put a piece of paper down in front of her and gave her a pencil, a colored pencil, and gee, this matches your shirt. Look at these colors. And maybe you would like to move the pencil to this music and show us how this music makes you feel.
Isn't that great?
Everyone else around her was doing something else, and she was going la 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 la, doodling. And she was engaged, and she was enlivened and vibrant, and that's where she was at.
That's where she was
and
at.
it was empowering her.
So I read that the 3 things you've been trained in, of course, are arts therapy, massage therapy, and as a fitness specialist, how do you bring it all home to any one person or group you're working with? Does everyone get the full basket of tools?
No,
no.
It's a toolkit,
It's a toolkit.
And if someone who is in a wheelchair, who has difficulty moving, is able to, I happen to know they like sports.
Yeah?
I might.
You're talking to the right crowd here.
I put a basketball on this guy's lap, and I helped to place his hand on the basketball, and I used my husband's laundry basket as the hoop, and it leaned against him, and he got to the point where he could push the ball into the basket, and he would just have this huge smile on his face. That was empowering to him, and his friends saw him do that, and he became the basketball player in the group.
Isn't that
So
great?
that's sort of where the fitness comes in a little bit.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
kind of
it's-
tailoring it. And
depends on the person.
Depends on the
What
person.
makes them feel good.
So really, it makes good sense if there is some sort of neurological delay, not to have a cookie cutter solution, but
can't have
to
a cookie
really
cutter solution.
tease it apart and see what works.
Right.
And based on that, I'm getting the signal from our friends behind the scenes that we need to take a little break.
Okay.
It's Denise with The Drive and my friend Denise Taylor, wellness expert. We're going to be back in a few minutes. Thanks so much, everyone. Tuesdays live, 12:30 here on the HEN network or on demand later.
Darien Sport Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances, where community comes first, a place where there's more than one kind of interest, where automation will never replace consideration, where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
Tired of all the bull? Relax and enjoy the experience of buying a car at Panby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram. No bull allowed.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
I'm Kate Chaplinsky. Join us for Coffee Break, weekdays at 11 to get the latest Connecticut news, weather, high school sports, and more. News doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break on the HAN network.
We're back. guys. It's Denise at The Drive. The Drive is about all things that fuel our mind, body, spirit, creates the lifestyle we live. It's motivational, intelligent talk with a little humor. And we hope that you enjoy it each and every week, and you can listen to us later on demand as well. We're talking to Denise Taylor, who is a wellness expert locally. And what I love about her is she offers a triad of services as a trained creative arts therapist, fitness specialist, and massage therapist. We're really talking about how you harmonize wellness for each and every person that you take care of, primarily those with neurological delays. So senior citizens with perhaps Alzheimer's, young children with some special needs. And we're learning that they're really responded to the creative modalities. Tell me, let's take it back. Where do you come from? Are you local? And how did you get into this?
I grew up in New Hampshire and Connecticut, primarily Connecticut, and I just, I have compassionate parents. I grew up with pets. I think that's where I learned to be a caring person. And
Pets, so you have to take care of
you have to take care of
greater
your pets.
than yourself.
You have to be responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Big family, small family?
one brother, one sister. I'm the
Okay.
middle child. And I just, I did a lot of exploring as a kid. I did traditional girl things, traditional boy things. I played with Tonka trucks and I played with dolls.
So you had an open mind.
I had an open mind. So,
Well, that's awesome.
and I liked learning about other cultures, other people, and the diversity in life, and that it's to be respected, and that we're all different. And I just decided, after being in the corporate world for quite some time,
What were you doing in the
writing
corporate world?
computer manuals,
Oh,
and that I wanted to become more active and move my body and be more engaged with other people. And I became certified as a personal trainer, and then later I started a business, became a licensed massage therapist. I went to the Caribbean and started a fitness business for a while, came back and got into the massage, and then used my degree in creative arts therapies and really started working with people with developmental disabilities.
now, based on what you do today, how has the mindset of our general population changed over the past 5 to 10 years? Do you think people embrace creative art therapies and these sort of modalities in this differently or the same, or?
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of forward movement and awareness in that area. I think there's been a lot of hesitation because if we don't know what something is, of course, we don't necessarily think it's effective. But I think there is a growing body of research to support that not everyone is able to talk and express themselves. And so what other ways, what other avenues are there to help these people feel good about themselves and share with the world who they are and what they want and what their interests are?
So speaking of sharing, as we move along in our chat, I also read that you have a service dog that you trained and
Yes.
does some service work right alongside of you. Tell us
Yes.
about that.
Yes.
Sumi?
Yes.
That's the dog's name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good memory.
I wish we had the picture of Sumi. Okay.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I live in Newtown, and after the Newtown tragedy, my husband and I wanted to give to our community, help the healing process somehow. And we were so frustrated, we weren't sure what we could do, but we did realize that we have this amazing animal. And
What sort of dog is it?
we're still trying to figure it out, but we're thinking she's Australian Shepherd Border Collie. She's black and white and has the dots, but she's got soft fur, and kids always think she's Dalmatian, but she doesn't look like one. But so we thought, well, let's share Sumi. And we found out about Newtown Strong Therapy Dogs, a wonderful organization. And we went through the training program and became certified handlers, and we both bring her now on Sundays to assisted living facilities and to various community events.
So what's the Strong Therapy program about? What's the crux of that?
It's to help the Newtown community heal and to provide comfort.
So is it a
primarily.
one-on-one with your dog, or is it a group session?
We will bring the dog to, in the case of the assisted living facilities, we'll bring her to see a group of people. Sometimes we'll bring her into someone's room. A woman recently lost her husband, and she was basically grieving and confined to her room and not coming out a lot. And most recently, she spent quite a lot of time with the dog, crying, laughing, petting the dog, and talking about her husband. It seemed that through the dog, she was able to get that out and feel comforted.
Now, are those assigned? Like, how do you know where to go with your dog? Does the Strong Therapy program tell you this group needs help, this event is going on?
Yes, in most cases, the Newtown Strong Therapy dog coordinator will let us know. We'll get requests for our dogs to go visit various places.
How is your community doing in Newtown?
It's a long,
it's a very
slow
tragic
process, and as more and more tragedies happen, it just sort of opens up the wounds again, particularly for the families. But I feel like the community has become very cohesive, and some amazing programs and change in the way people think has come about.
So with all that you do in giving out, how does someone like you relax?
When I relax,
that's always
actually,
like when.
Yeah. You know, I really feel, I try to practice simple things like breathing. It's an ability we all have that we forget
Imagine
about.
that.
Right?
Right.
Just a few deep breaths a few times a day. It helps us be more mindful, helps us be more connected, slows our nervous system down, reduces anxiety, reduces blood pressure, all kinds of good stuff. So I try to breathe a few times a day. And I try to show gratitude.
Well, that's a big part of the Daily Drive book as well. It's very interesting you said that, because I don't even think you've seen the book yet.
I look forward to it. I know that you talk about that.
Tell me about gratitude. Tell me why you think that's important.
I think that we can't take anything for granted.
Boy, isn't that the truth?
We could all be gone tomorrow. Our loved ones could be gone tomorrow, and we need to appreciate what we have.
Do you incorporate that into your work?
I do. I think that's part of empowering people.
Right.
Is I try to think of ways to empower myself and be appreciative of what I have, and then share that with others.
You know, that's what we say at the Daily Drive. There's always something to be thankful about. And even if you've had the worst, craziest day going, at least your car got you to work. Or someone that you knew or didn't know smiled at you.
Right.
I teach a class on the weekends where I'm teaching one random act of kindness.
Oh, I love it.
Right?
Do you?
The universal word, the universal language is smiling. 7,000 languages in the world, we all understand that. And it's interesting when you really get into a regular, well, I teach a regular class, and when you get to know the people, and you kind of, at first they're very standoffish about a random act of kindness. That's for everybody else to do. But when you really get them doing it, and then they kind of see the power of it in service to others, it's weird how they find their own gratitude.
Yes.
But I think that we run around as a culture like maniacs, myself included, and I have to be reminded to take time for gratitude. And so I say write it down. You know, it's like your shopping list. When you write it down, it crystallizes.
It's true.
Yeah. So beyond doing the family therapy, not family therapy, excuse me, the Strong Therapy dog program.
Newtown.
Newtown. Well, we should have had that website so we can blast that up at the end. What else do you do? Because volunteer work seems to go with your compassionate work as well.
So what else do I do?
In your free time.
In my free time. Well, I think spending time, making time to share with the people I love. My friends, my family, my husband, my 3 adopted dogs.
You have 3 dogs?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that gives me a sense of purpose in my life.
And what would you say with the big toolbox that you have? We're coming right on the heels of Thanksgiving, and people are probably stressed out, and they've got to cook or they've got to run. It's the most traveled holiday in the year. What would you say to them from a creative arts therapy point of view, or massage therapy point of view that we could give them as a tip to help them relax, focus, be in the state of gratitude?
I think that we need to remember that it only takes a few minutes to check out and take time for ourselves. I think that we need to do a little self-care, and it doesn't require a lot of our time or energy. Simple breathing, go get a chair massage, usually costs $1 a minute, or have someone give you a little massage, maybe go get your nails done. Do a few nice things for yourself. Spend time with a friend, and just know that it's not that important.
Life will go on.
Life will go on.
And what about your, I don't want to, I'll call them clients because they're not patients. What about your clients that are neurologically delayed, and what can we do, what can we offer to them this Thanksgiving to make their holiday a little bit better, especially if they aren't surrounded by family and friends, for those that might be in assisted living homes and have less access? What kind of things might, or maybe we go and volunteer, I don't know, but what sort of tips will you leave us with for those folks?
I think if we have an opportunity to listen and be with these people and show a genuine interest, that just goes a long way.
So maybe make a charity stop.
Make a charity stop. Try to help someone.
So can you give us the name of your website?
Yes, it's taylorwellness.net.
And if there was a couple of things you wanted the audience to know about your website, what would you want to focus on? I wanted to make sure that we know a little bit about you that we haven't discussed.
Yeah, that I offer hopefully creative and innovative ways to access people's creative potential and help them to feel good about themselves. And a lot of us need to have a sense of purpose, and we don't always have success experiences. And I like to try to, with my tools in my toolkit, find ways to help individuals feel good and have a sense of purpose.
Well, I think the word empowerment is a very important word, and I think it's important for everybody in every phase of their life to feel good enough, strong enough, loved enough. You know, we all kind of walk around with not enoughs, and it seems like your services really kind of help people achieve that and really do raise their quality of life. So we're going to take a short break, and we're going to be back in a couple of minutes. Thanks so much, Denise. It's The Drive with Denise DiGrigoli, live every Tuesday, 12:30 here on the HAN Network.
Find over 1,000 special stories at Hospital for Special Surgery. Go to hss.edu/backinthe-game.
I was jogging 5 months after my cartilage tear.
Skiing a year after hip surgery.
And playing grandma 4 weeks after hip replacement.
One special hospital, 1,000 special stories. See Connecticut patients at hss.edu/CT.
In Pound Ridge since 1993, the Wine Connection is one of America's best wine shops. Visit our beautiful store for the greatest in wine and knowledgeable service. With wonderful values from around the world to collectibles for your cellar, we are your one-stop source. Visit our online shop at wineconn.com and make sure to sign up for email updates. With great offers, new arrivals, and special events, don't miss all the action at The Wine Connection, including tastings every weekend. The Wine Connection, located at 32 Westchester Avenue, Pound Ridge, New York.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
The fall bite is heating up, Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait in the Long Island Sound. This is the time to visit the New England coast, and the Dock Shop can get you outfitted with the latest fishing gear, jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece. Boater, beach bum, fishermen simply love the New England coast. This is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
The 2015 FCAC Football Championship on Thanksgiving morning will match the New Canaan Rams and the Darien Blue Wave. It's the 50th anniversary edition of the big game, as well as the annual Turkey Bowl. The HAN Network is your exclusive home for all of the action. Our coverage will begin at 8 a.m. with FCAC Championship Game Day, followed by pregame coverage at 10. Kickoff is at 10:30. The live video streaming broadcast is available on pay-per-view at championships.han.network.
Thanks again, Denise. We've really appreciated having you here today. You know, I just want everyone to know that it's important to take a look at other ways for health and healing. And your wellness expertise certainly sheds light on expressive arts therapy combined with massage therapy and physical fitness. But what I like about it is your piece on how you harmonize it all together and make it custom, and your compassionate ways of moving people forward with gratitude.
Thank you.
So I hope that you'll come back in the new year and tell us what's new over in your bag of tricks, and maybe come back with a picture of Sumi.
I'll do that. Okay. Thank you. I really enjoyed being on your show.
I hope to see you again soon. Thanks so much. So listen, everybody, I'm taking next week off for Thanksgiving. We're going to Aunt Pat's in the Berkshires, and I will see you in the holidays with some new motivational talk, a little bit of humor, hopefully some tips that'll help us move forward in the new year, achieving our goals mindfully, living consciously, all that good stuff. It's how you fuel your mind, body, spirit to really create your lifestyle. So think about it and give yourself a little time and randomly smile at those people that you know. Thanks so much. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.